I mean, this one's interesting. If they're not calling crazy wide, I think even though it looks completely crazy, this could be a jam. Just depends on how wide they are. We'll have a very quick look at it, just out of interest. Maybe on the low stakes it's not going to be as successful, but I don't know. I don't know whether it's the case that better players will call wider or whether weaker players will call wider. Usually you think it would be the weaker players, but not always the case. So chip EV. And then what kind of ranges are we going to put each of these guys? What do you reckon, David?
I reckon the first guy's going to call pretty wide, probably. Just see. Well, basically, it doesn't matter. For him, because both of us get the same amount, big blind and myself, pretty much. So, it's really what he's willing to put 1,200 chips in with. Probably ace 10.
Okay.
Probably. Maybe king queen. And probably 5's better. Maybe 4's better.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. That range pretty good. Just bear in mind that the last parts of the range you gave me were equivalent to more like ace 8 and ace 5 suited.
I was thinking maybe some smaller aces. I know that I said king queen as well. So yeah, maybe some smaller aces. I don't know, but I'm not sure. Not 100%. I don't know the player. I don't know if he's.
Yeah, I think this looks reasonable. About 14%, pretty standard. And then the big blind. What do you reckon, David?
Probably much the same. Maybe not as wide with the aces. Maybe.
How come you think he'd be tighter rather than wider?
Well, it's the other guy's. It's not his tournament life. It's his tournament life. The other guy might call a little wider because he knows he can afford it. I think. So he might go down to like ace 5 or ace 5 suited or ace 8. I think this guy might be more ace 8 suited ace 10. Maybe. Don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they would just call exactly the same, but I just think it's because his tournament life he might be a little tight.
Yeah, it's possible. That is one consideration. The fact that he's not risking his tournament life. You know, guys that are risking their tournament life might be a bit tighter, a bit wide, a bit tighter. But I think that since this guy is already quite short stacked, or might be girl actually, and also that you're pretty short stacked as well. They're going to put you on a reasonably wide range, and then they're quite short, so they might want to just kind of almost gamble it up in a way. Whereas this person might be like, I've already got a decent stack. There's no need to do anything silly. I'll just wait. You might want to find a better spot than this. It can work both ways. And also, this person's got to worry about what this person could have. I'm not sure if they really think like that, but as a rule of thumb, the person in the big blind is almost always going to be wider than the person in the small blind. So usually what you do is you give them the same range or a wider range. So what I do is I just start it on the last range we talked about, and then I add in 4s, and I might just make it ace 5 and any suited ace. What do you think, Akos?
I think it's reasonable.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3s and 2s.
Yeah, maybe. Might call pretty much any pair. I'll give 3s. And
I might think it's his chance to double up.
Yeah. And King Jack. This looks okay. We'll leave it like that. And there you go.
You don't need to do overcall.
Actually you do. Sorry. Yeah, I always forget to do that when it's chip EV. It will actually make quite a big difference, unfortunately. Now, overcalling probably ace queen plus or any wider. Any wider, do you think, or do you think that's reasonable? Yeah, I guess so. And then yeah, it sounds about right. 5%. Cool. Yeah, it makes this a little bit worse, but still pretty much the same thing, which is good news. In terms of edge, you got less than the starting stack. If you have 1500, you want to have at least 20 edge. If you got less than that, you might bring it down to 0. I think it's hard to say here. You're already 5-handed and you're quite short, but your M's not crazy low. I think you'd probably take anything that's above 0 just to try and, you'd like to get a stack at this point before you get to the final table. I just think this is correct, leaving it at 0, in which case you can shove pretty much everything apart from the absolute worst hands. Pretty amazing. Given those ranges, of course. If they're if they're wider, if I make it, if I just change it a bit. I don't think I'd make it any wider than this. Then, as you can see, that makes quite a fair difference. So it is important to put correct ranges. What it shows you is that against guys that are reasonably solid or normal, you can shove this, and then against guys that are super aggressive, you would actually fold, and you want to shove anything that plays well. This is that range. This range is the anything that plays well range. You're folding a lot of offsuit stuff, but you're shoving the vast majority of suited stuff. Very intuitive kind of stuff, really. So you're basically fluctuating between this and pretty much everything. You're always folding the ship pile.
I would have thought that hand would have been part of the ship pile, the 9-2 suited, even though it's suited and a lot of suited stuff can kind of creep into ranges. I still would have thought that would have been.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Bad cards, like you say, it's unintuitive.
Yeah, quite a long way away from the ship pile. Ship pile is basically just this stuff here, really, just this here. Depends what you define as ship pile. For me, I'm probably talking mostly the bottom 7% of hands. You could say the bottom 13%, and then that would add in a few other ones. But at the end of the day, it is 9 high and it is suited. That's a lot more than can be said for all these hands here, which are like 8 high or worse and offsuit. So it's quite a big difference there. And there's quite a few of those hands, all these ones here. So yeah, it's quite a good spot to look at.